What's up, everybody? Welcome to 3D Rivals, your first line of defense against stupid movies. My name is DJ, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, my sister Doreen.
What's up?
And my brother Derek.
What's up?
And this week we're talking about the last 4 episodes of Avatar: The Last Airbender from Netflix.
Did you say that right?
No, he did not. The Last Airbender. I don't know what The Last Endbender is.
Whatever. Avatar: The Last Airbender from Netflix. We talked about the first half last week. This week we watched the second half, and so we'll just jump into our thoughts. Immediately, I don't think much has changed as far as the show goes and my thoughts on it. There are a few things. Now that I've seen the full series, I know there are going to be some fans that have issues with it because they did change a lot. I mean, the story still ends up pretty much in the same place, but same thing they did when we talked about last week. They combined a few things. There are people from season 2 that are in this, like the owl. The owl is not in season 1.
Is the owl important?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. UA is not a fox. Don't know what the deal with that was.
Okay. But she's dead, or is she not dead?
She's the moon.
Yeah.
Don't even explain that. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I didn't like how they did the one creature.
The water monster?
No, when they were in the spirit realm.
Oh, the face thing?
Oh, Ko?
Yeah.
That's exactly how he looks in the cartoon.
No, he looks exactly as I liked that episode in the anime more.
It was much better.
It was more brought out in the anime than it was in the show.
So in the cartoon, Ko was used at the northern water tribe, not when Aang was captured and all that.
Right.
So like I said, they mixed a few things. It was just supposed to be the polar bear monster thing. It was the black and white thing. They never showed him as a polar bear. Panda bear, excuse me.
Wait, I'm sorry. Where was there a panda?
They never showed him as a panda bear. The one that was chasing them on the path.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be a panda.
He's supposed to be a panda.
Yeah.
That was the opposite of a panda.
I mean, when he's angry,
angry, that's what he looks like.
Oh.
When he's docile, he's a panda bear.
I'm like, they
But we did not see that episode together as a group. That was the very next episode coming up.
Okay, so
I have not
Doreen
seen any
didn't
more
see
episodes.
Okay.
Like everything that happened here, I have not seen the animated equivalent.
Yeah. So they mixed a few things.
Mm-hmm.
Ko, I think, was better served in the Northern Tribe because Aang did not know what to do, and he went for help. And Ko's the one that told him to find the representations of the moon in the ocean, which is why he ended up there, and not the way they did it in the show here. He just ended up there because I forgot what their reasoning was. Because Zhao was going there.
Yeah.
And so they had to stop him.
Yeah.
Okay. Which, I mean, they all end up in the same place, but yeah. Things like that is why I can see why some fans will have an issue. I honestly, while I like the writing of the cartoon better, I didn't have that much of an issue with the changes. I'm like, I don't think it's not as good as the cartoon with the changes, but
I didn't have any issues with the changes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not a hardcore fan, so my opinion could be taken differently.
Well, I mean, me not even knowing what the changes are, I think my issues, I felt like that they sped up too much. You know what I mean? Like these last 4 episodes, I'm like, you guys covered a lot.
They rushed, yeah.
And it felt a little rushed.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got that feeling even without knowing what was going on.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it was rushed because the Northern tribe that's an arc, right? In the cartoon, there's a few episodes,
right? And
I want to say it's like the last 3 episodes of the season,
at least 3, if not more.
And I felt like the part like him saving his friends, I thought we were going to end there because it's supposed to be, oh, it's so dangerous for you guys here, and now he has to go and save them, and they're running out of time. And then when it didn't end in episode 5, I was like, oh, okay, so we're going to carry this on. And then episode 6, it was just easy peasy. It's like, okay, you guys are saved. And I was like, oh, that was quick.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing about that is, see, in the cartoon, they weren't like captured, so it was a dire situation, but it wasn't like, oh my god, they're going to be killed by Ko or whatever.
Right.
They were sick, and he needed to get medicine, and when he was getting the medicine, he got captured by the Fire Nation.
Right.
And then that's when Zuko saved him.
Right.
Which they did have in here.
Well, that brings me to the other point. Is last week when you described the blue angel, whatever he's called, the way you described it, I was like, oh, that seems really interesting. Then watching it here, I was like, oh, Darren described it a lot better than what I saw.
I would say I think it was better in the cartoon. And I think that leads to my first issue with the Netflix series. One, I think, oddly enough, the action seems a bit subdued in this. To be honest, the TV Y7 cartoon seems to have more intense action than this show does. And I don't know what it is, but I'm like, even like the final battle in the Water Nation. Yeah. I'm like, it felt more involved in the cartoon than it did here. The Katara's fight between the master and whatever, that was a dope fight in the cartoon. Here I'm like,
you know what I was expecting, like that lead up, I was expecting like in Black Panther when T'Challa is fighting that guy in the beginning. Yes. Yes. I'm like, oh, okay, that's the kind of fight I was expecting. Okay. Where it's just like, I mean, come on, you know who's going to win this fight. Yeah. But at the same time, I wanted that intensity. Like, I wanted to be drawn in. Yeah. And it was like, there was some stuff like, okay, that's cool. But at the same time, like you said, like, it didn't really grab you. Yeah. And I kind of felt like when the Zuko was coming in to save Aang, it didn't really grab me. And I'm like, thinking about how it was described to me the week earlier, I was like, I wanted more. I was expecting more.
I was expecting more too. And what I noticed was a lot of times it's like Zuko's coming up on somebody and then they cut away. Yeah. And I think it actually took away from the scene. Yeah. You know? Like in the cartoon, we saw Zuko actually take out all the Fire Nation people. Him fighting alongside Aang was like way more involved. They did do the little ladder thing, but it somehow still seemed better in the cartoon.
Well, I mean, watching, I was like, what is the point of this?
So they didn't have to go across all the people. So they were trying to get to the outer wall. Right. And so they used the ladders.
As like stilts or something?
Yeah, to kind of, that way you can skip over that. Carrying Zuko?
Sure.
No.
He could use his air to lift Zuko with him.
No, and then did he have his glider? I don't think he had his glider with him.
He only can fly with the glider?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He doesn't have wings.
Yeah, when he
doesn't have wings. Superman don't have wings and he flies.
Yeah, so when he's in the air, he's airbending, but basically it's like Toy Story. He's falling with style.
Yeah. So with the glider, he can actually fly because he's moving the air over the wings to keep it up. Yeah. Which is not that easy to do when you don't have wings. They showed in the beginning he can kind of make himself fly, but like you're not gonna go far.
I'm just thinking like Storm, right? Storm can fly because she can move the air around her, right?
I mean, that's the theory.
Yeah, that's the theory.
I think actually, I think with doing Avatar is a bit more realistic. Yeah, with air alone, I don't think you're gonna make a person. We're not aerodynamic.
Agree with you, but at the same time, there's just too many superheroes out there flying without wings. So, I mean, we might as well.
True. Now, in the follow-up show, Korra, there is a person that's an airbender that like he becomes so good that he can actually fly. And he's just not that good, I guess.
Yeah. So I felt like the first half, like the first few episodes that we covered last week, I felt like those fighting scenes were better. I felt like there was more involved, more intense. You felt the stakes for things, and I felt like here, the second half, it was a lot of cutaway, as DJ brought out, and like you didn't feel the stakes, as it were, as in the cartoon. Yeah, like in the anime, like he made mention of the fight with the master. Yeah, like that was a dope scene, and it's like you didn't get that.
And they took out, and I know it seems silly, out of that fight they took out one important thing, and it's like Katara water bent ice around her feet so that he couldn't knock her down. And I think it was the point, because like you mentioned, we know that she can't beat him, right? He's a master, she's not. So we know that she can't beat him. Sorry. But that highlight in the cartoon, the point wasn't for her to win, but to show that she's good enough to stand up against him. And even though it's such a small thing, you kind of took it out, and it's like, I think it kind of carried some weight. It wasn't just a move that she did. It carried weight. Right. You know? So, I don't know. Taking stuff like that out is meh. The acting, honestly, I think some of the actors did actually come into their roles a little bit better. Yeah. My second issue with this show is the actor for Aang.
Yeah, I felt like the more we got of him, the less I was like, whew, like you're not great. Yeah. And like especially episode 5 and 6, it was a lot of him in those episodes. Right.
Yeah, 5 and 6, I was getting a little tired, but then like 7 and 8, we moved on to other people.
Picked up, but yeah, 5 and 6 is. It's just, he's not great. And I know he's young and he can improve or whatever, but it was hard to watch. Yeah.
I would agree. And I think everyone else had like some really good scenes where I'm like, okay, I can actually get into the show. I'm feeling their acting. But yeah, no, I had no scene like that with Aang's actor at all. Yeah. You know. Yeah. I still stand with the older actors in the show. I think actually are doing really good.
Well, that's because they've been in other stuff.
Yeah, like Zhao. I thought he did a great job.
Yeah, like but I'm like, I've seen this guy in 1,000 different things. Yeah. So yeah, like
Ira,
yeah.
Yeah, all the older people are completely fine, but then they're also seasoned actors too.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's where the weakness lie. And if acting is one of your weaknesses, that's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, especially since he's the main character.
Yes.
I mean, one thing the show has going for it has an extensive cast, right? Yes. So, you know.
Although for me, not being familiar with the cartoon, it was definitely not hard to keep, because it's like looking at them, I know who's who. I can't remember everybody's name.
Oh, well, that's.
I have a hard time too.
I'm like, who's this guy again?
Yeah, I have a hard time with the names too.
Yeah. Oh my god.
That's fine. It was interesting. Another change they made: Zuko's fight with his father. Yeah. In the cartoon, he didn't fight him at all. Okay. He got burned because he refused to fight his father. He said, I thought I was fighting the general. I'm not gonna fight you, and then he burned his eye. Which is still
messed up.
It's really still messed up. Well, either way, it's still messed up.
Because here, his father does it because Zuko hesitates.
He could have burned his father, and he decided not to.
Yeah, and I guess what was it? Weakness is something.
Compassion is weakness.
Compassion is weakness.
Yep. Which is, it comes back around. I do think they still hit the point between him and Aang with him being the Blue Spirit rescuing Aang. Especially, I thought those scenes were really good at the end, not them escaping, but the conversations between him and Aang. Yeah. You know, and then Aang is telling him that, you know, you be compassionate, and that just strikes a chord with Zuko because his whole situation he's in is because he showed compassion. Yeah. Which I think is great.
Yeah, I think one thing they did come across is they really do, despite like Zuko to me is hit or miss, you know, like some things is good, some things is not so great. But they do making you feel for him though. Like it's just like I'm like everything that's happened to him is just so messed up, and I do think that is portrayed well.
Yeah.
Even though I think the actor who plays Zuko, like sometimes he's okay, but then like Aang, it's like when he's on the screen for too long, you're just like okay. But besides that, I think I think his father. But then again, we're also talking about someone who's been acting for 30 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Who's that? Daniel Day Kim?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, and then also shout out, and he like 50.
Yeah, shout out to his workout routine.
Shout out to his workout routine.
Actually, to be honest, man, he's a splitting image of the Fire Lord from the cartoon.
Yes.
I'm like, geez, man. They've got it down.
Yeah.
I've got to see that final fight between Aang and the Fire Lord, man. Oh, man, they cannot mess that up.
They cannot mess up the fight.
Is that at the end of the show?
That's the very end of the show.
They can't mess up the fight with the sister and the brother.
Oh, yeah. And Katara. Katara's sister and brother.
Yeah.
Speaking of Azula, I do think her character was a bit better in these episodes. They did show the lightning.
I did not like her in the beginning, but
I still think
she doesn't look crazy enough.
I don't think she looks crazy enough.
She looks off. She looks off to me.
No, I don't think she looks. Okay.
I mean, smiling when your brother is getting his face burned off.
Well, I mean, that's just messed up. The girl's psychotic, but I don't think she looks crazy enough. Okay, I had to look up pictures of Ozai.
Okay, yeah, don't he look like Ozai?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, there's that. One thing I found weird is Aang doesn't know how to waterbend at all in this season. I was like, what?
Okay, because I'm thinking, why Katara is practicing, why aren't you practicing
with her?
There's a whole episode in the cartoon of Katara being angry because Aang learned waterbending so easily. They got the scroll, right? And she's like, not only is she learning, he is. I don't know why he wouldn't learn from it either. That's really dumb.
Well, he spent his whole time talking about how he failed and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bro, how long we going to just keep going on this note? We get it. But y'all been traveling for months now, and you have not practiced learning any of the other elements?
Right. Yeah. And you got a waterbender. I don't care how bad she is. You guys can at least practice together.
Right. She's right there.
Yeah. And in the show, because Katara was mad because Aang picked it up right away and she was still struggling waterbending. And she's like, what the heck? So I'm like, and then even when they got to the north, he didn't practice with the waterbending master. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, I thought that was strange. I was just like, so when are you going to start practicing this? Although he learns how to become the moon or whatever instantly.
Well, that did happen in the cartoon, and that wasn't him. Basically, the embodiment of the ocean was angry, and him in the Avatar state, they basically kind of like merged or whatever.
Okay. That was not explained clearly enough.
Well, that's all they kept saying is not Aang.
They were saying that. I'm like, but Aang is the one who hopped in the water and started glowing, and now you're talking about it's not him. Okay, sure.
So, that did happen in cartoon. I think it was a lot better in the cartoon, to be honest. Also, he's the one that killed Zhao.
Oh, okay. I don't think that matters. Does it matter?
No, it didn't matter to me.
It didn't really matter. It was kind of a, revenge for it killing the embodiment of the moon.
Am I the only one think they were moving a little bit slow to save that fish?
I know, right?
I'm like,
what y'all doing?
What are y'all doing? Oh, okay. I just like, this fish could have been living.
Right. Does somebody know some healing water bending or something?
She healed the stupid monkey thing
that
no one cares about.
Yeah. Wait, don't talk about Momo.
I was about to call him Moo, but Momo.
Everybody likes Momo.
He had like 2 appearances, and all of a sudden we're sad that he's dead.
That's true. They've barely used it. Momo is used a lot more.
Yeah, he's in every episode in the cartoon.
Yeah.
Because it's this whole baby group moment when Aang is captured by Fire Nation and Sokka and Katara are sick. And Sokka's asking him to bring water, and he just keeps bringing like a bunch of random stuff because he can't understand what Sokka's saying. So, Yeah, I don't know. And then he doesn't get hurt in the cartoon, so I don't know why that put in that scene. Also, Yue's not a waterbender.
Oh, okay.
So they made her a waterbender in this, which is weird.
Well, but I mean, yeah, but then she didn't fight. Though. All she did was heal the monkey.
True.
Which was unnecessary. I thought, like, if you show that, then I'm like, oh, okay, she's going to heal the fish.
Right.
But then she becomes the moon, I guess.
Well, see,
that's because in the cartoon she did too.
Yeah, well, it makes more sense in the cartoon because she's only alive because, like, she was dying as a baby, and then she got like some life from the moon.
The moon.
And so now that it was dying, they gave it back to her. But in this in the show, I think it was just dead. He stabbed it.
Yeah.
So,
which was just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. So, but yeah, those were a little bit mixed up. I'm like, mixed feelings about how they executed that. But yeah, we did still get Big Monster Fish Aang. He still destroyed the Fire Nation.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing. Like, Aang was a waterbender by then. When they went out and attacked the ships, it wasn't Aang, Katara, and Sokka. It was just Aang. He went out and took out like 4 ships because he could waterbend. And then, he was still like, it's way too many. I can't do this, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, why can't I don't get the choice of not.
Yeah, they didn't have to make any progress as an avatar. I guess it's more progress on you need friends, but I'm like, we learned this in like episode 2.
Look, I thought I was watching Fast and Furious for a moment, as much as they talk about family.
They kept saying it like over and over again, and I'm like, how many times are we gonna learn the same lesson?
Yeah,
like we learned this lesson in every episode.
Also, Katara, Aang can't hear you all the way up there.
Yeah,
yeah, he's in the big old fish form thing. Yeah. She's like, Aang, it's okay, calm down. And I'm like, yo, he can't hear you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm like, he's pretty far away, but you continue whispering.
Yeah.
These motivational
He came back because the moon was alive, okay? It wasn't you, Katara. Yeah. So, I guess they're skipping over the library thing. The owl is from the library.
I don't know what the library is.
Well, that's how Zhao knew where to find the moon to weaken the waterbenders.
Okay, gotcha.
Because he would say, like, I went to a library, but he didn't do that here. So I'm like, I hope in season 2 they don't skip the library, because that's like a huge. Oh, man, they can't skip any of that. Super important. Appa gets captured. That is important.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, so you get super angry Aang, like just regular super angry Aang.
Okay.
And then, like, that's a whole thing because you go half the season without Appa, which I know you're like, but it was a huge deal.
Okay.
Especially since they end up in Ba Sing Se.
Right. And I mean, they use Appa to travel. And it's like they can't travel.
Build a boat. Everyone else is traveling by boat.
It's slower.
Also, they're in the Earth Kingdom, so
Yeah, but the Earth Kingdom got captured.
Not all. Omashu got captured. Ba Sing Se is a different city.
Yeah.
I thought the first time you said it, I thought that was a person. But okay.
No, because at the end it was like the only thing that stands between us.
Oh yeah, they said it once.
They did say that. Yeah. You're right. I'm supposed to pick up on that. Okay.
Well, no, she wouldn't because she didn't watch the cartoon. She just heard words.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
Who was this guy?
It's a city. There's no war inside Ba Sing Se.
Yeah.
You've been invited to Lake Laogai. You'll get it later. Don't worry about it.
Assuming I watch season 2.
We're gonna watch season 2.
We watch season.
I'm gonna say that's what I was gonna say about this. Like, I have my issues with it, but I would watch. I want to see what they do with season 2.
Yeah.
Unlike some adaptations, like the movie, where I'm like, I don't want to see what you do.
It was honestly, the bar wasn't high with the movie.
Yeah.
So everything with this show is 10 times, 100 times better than the movie. The movie was that bad.
Before the end of 2024, we gotta get you to watch the movie so you can compare. I know you didn't see the cartoon, but now you have a reference, and you can see how with just the show, you will see how botched this movie is.
Okay.
Because you're gonna see similar scenes, just done horribly.
Okay. So you're saying we're gonna add that to the movie list?
Well, but before the end of 2024.
Yeah. Okay, well, 2024 just started. So. Yeah,
great. It's an M. Night Shyamalan
he hasn't production. Made a good movie in a long time.
In like 30 years.
Yeah,
I don't know why people keep
hiring him. Money.
Yeah, his spark has run out.
In season 2, there's a lot more Azula.
I mean, I can tell because that's how this one ended. Basically, it pretty much said like it's going to be about her. Then made me wonder like what Zuko's next role will be. Because I feel like he's really like figuring out. Because basically, it's just like, yeah, your father sent you on a dummy mission, had nothing to do with you. He didn't care if you succeeded. It was all about your sister.
Right, and then it's like now you succeeded in finding the Avatar. So now it's just like, okay.
If done right, it's a really good arc into season 3 or season 3 of it. So if done right, it should end in a really good place.
Yeah.
There's a lot of internal conflict.
Yeah. I have seen all of season 1. I haven't seen much of season 2 and 3, so I will watch season 2, the anime. So I know what's going on.
In that time, Netflix have a long time between their shows.
That's true.
Yeah.
They better make Azula an absolute, utter beast. Like, you have to. If you do not.
Yeah, because I feel like she's better than the father.
Maybe, if she didn't have mental issues.
She does have mental issues.
Okay.
Yeah. Because they didn't show this, but like in the cartoon, when Iroh's son died, she was like making fun of it and stuff like that.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, you're an awful person.
She is an awful person.
That's messed up.
Yeah, on the show they didn't show her interaction with any of that about when his son died and everything. It was just between him and
yeah. Well, I feel they didn't really dive into it until season 2. Actually, because Azula was only introduced in the last episode of season 1.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah. True.
We're getting a lot of her backstory now that we didn't get in the cartoon.
Yeah. That's true.
That's fine. I mean, not having seen the cartoon, I think having her, the parts that they did have her didn't feel out of place or whatever.
Yeah. So well, they're kind of explaining like why. Part of the reason why she is the way she is, because Ozai is playing a game with her too.
Yeah, and I think it's better than just with the show and like all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, here's his sister. It's kind of like how in Fast and the Furious is like all of a sudden here's Dom's brother, and you're like, where has he been for the last 9 movies?
Yeah,
It's like you guys clearly just made this up. Right. So yeah, I think it's fine that she got introduced early, especially if you're saying like season 2 focuses on her. It seems like they're going to do the same thing here. And if we already have parts of that background, then that's less episodes you waste in the next season on it.
Yeah. Also, her friend in the pink, as she's not a bender, she also should be made a beast because she kind of is in the cartoon.
Okay.
I don't see, like I said, we haven't seen much of them, but I'm like, I don't know about these actresses for these roles.
They might be different actors in the next, because I'm like, they didn't really say much.
That is true. They are replaceable.
That's true.
I like, as of now, they're probably in the credits listed as Azula's friends. Girl 1, Girl 2, and Girl 3.
I'm sure they have names.
You know who they should have got as May, which is the dark-haired, I guess they're all dark-haired. The one not in pink.
Okay.
The person who played Shang-Chi's sister.
Oh, she'd have been too old.
She probably was too old.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Yue was 26 or 27.
Yeah, but for Azula's friends, they all have to be like 18 or something. She's at least in her mid.
Yue was supposed to be 16.
Oh.
That's the girl who, she was in Legion and played in Prey.
Man, I'm kind of thinking like, man,
that's what
she looks
was
familiar.
in.
I could not figure it out for the life of me.
Yeah.
That's who she was. Okay.
Okay, I'm like, where have I seen her? Okay. Yeah, I think she'd have been too old.
Okay. Yeah. We good fighter. I need them to get some good fighters. I don't know if they can fight.
I mean, yeah, and
I'm telling you, they just extras in season 1.
Stop saying that.
They're gonna be replaced in season 2.
They probably have a 3-year contract already
with Netflix.
Why not?
No, okay.
Yeah.
But I guess that's about it with the story.
It's probably definitely the most streamed show of 2024 so far.
I think it was in the top 10 for a bit. I think it got knocked out of the top
2024 just started, so,
Yeah, I know that, but I mean, we have our 2024 just started, and we already had a bunch of stuff that sucked already, too.
I mean, yeah, that's to be expected. Yeah. All right, anything else to kind of talk about these last 4? We kind of touched on.
No, that's about it. That's about it. I shared my complaints.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my thing is still the 2 things. Aang's actor and the action in the show seems meh. Mm-hmm. But to be honest, I think some of the scenes between actors are really good. Mm-hmm. And they're in, like you said, episode 7 and 8, I was definitely more engaged with than 5 and 6.
Yeah, 5 and 6 were nice. 5 and 6, I was like, whew. Because 5 and 6, I was like, oh man, I definitely liked the first 4 episodes a lot better.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But then 7 or 8 definitely picked it up. I mean, there were still issues, like you said, with the action, which really felt like it should have been more engaging, like really draw you in, and they did not. So maybe next season, I don't know if they need to get new choreographers or something for that, or I don't know, or teach some of these kids how to fight. I don't know.
Call the choreographers from Daredevil.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I mean, it's just martial art. Each bending form it's like a different kind of martial art.
Mm-hmm.
True. Like airbending is like more Tai Chi or whatever. Mm-hmm. Or no, it's that water bending is more like Tai Chi. But it's like, why not just do that?
Mm-hmm. Well, because I figure I think Netflix is like, where do we spend our money?
Yeah.
Because I mean, this has to be again,
effects
show is very expensive.
Yeah. Effects were still good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, cut corners in some areas to succeed in others.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. But no, I think they'll do fine doing season 3. It's weird because in the cartoon, the first season is called Water, because
he learns how to
water.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Season 2 is called Earth. I hope he actually learns how to earth bend in there, or are we just going to skip over that? I don't know.
I don't know. Is he going to learn how to water bend off camera?
Probably. He's going to be a water.
That's a good one. Wow, that's a good one. I didn't think of that. Yeah. That is very possible.
He should be a waterbender already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, okay. Are we giving our final rating of the show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I still have it as a watch while folding clothes. I think it's all right.
It is still a watch while folding clothes. The last half of the season definitely dropped it a little bit, but it still wasn't hard to watch.
Yeah.
So it's still a watch while folding clothes.
I give it a watch while folding clothes too, as well.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So our rating stays the same. That's a 6 to 7.5 out of 10 in between those. So it's all right show. Maybe season 2 will be better. I'll actually check out season 2. So those are my thoughts on it.
Yeah.
All right. What did you think about the series? If you watched the whole thing, let us know in the comments below, and we will catch you in the next one.